Hello and welcome to English and More. I'm Shweta Roy and I am back again with another chapter, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse by William Saroyan. So, this is a wonderful and a heart touching story of two young boys. So, without further ado, let us begin with this beautiful chapter. But before we begin with this chapter, I would like you to imagine and ask yourselves, what do you understand or what comes in your mind when you think of the word summer? And second, what comes to your mind when you think of a white horse, a beautiful white horse? Okay, so think of the images that comes in your mind and we will see how it aligns with the images or with the symbolism which has been used in this particular story. So before we begin with the chapter, let us be acquainted and familiar with the author, because if you are familiar with the author and his timeline and the historical background against which he was writing, you would understand the story and the themes pertaining to this particular story in a better way. So, William Saroyan was a US, that is an American writer who made his initial impact during the Depression, the period of depression, economic depression. You should know a little bit about the economic depression. So, please turn back to the pages of your history to refer to this. So, the work that he had written definitely celebrated the joy of living despite being poverty, despite the problems those problems which were persisting at that point of time, like poverty, hunger, insecurity, because it was a period of economic depression, if you remember the background, right? So here also we will find this particular theme. Now he was concerned with the basic goodness of all people, which is very much relevant to this particular story, especially the obscure and the naive. Here also we would be coming across two children, two boys who were in their adolescence and who were naive, of course, because they were still, it was a period of transitioning, adolescent period, so they still had those elements of childhood in them, right? And the values of life. Now the values are very, very important, because this lesson instills in all of us a lot of values. So you can expect a lot of value based question from this chapter. His mastery of the vernacular makes his character vibrantly alive, which is again found in this particular story. Most of his stories are based on his childhood and family. This particular story also is based on childhood and family plays a very important role. The tribe about which he was writing, that also plays a very, very important role. Notably, the collection My Name is Aram. Now, this particular story which we are going to read today is taken from this collection, My Name is Aram, which was published in 1940, and these are his other books, other novels. The autobiographical element is very much present in this story that we would be reading this day today. His most successful early collection this is the collection which was most successful, early collection, and this particular story is a part of that. A book presenting in a poetical light the Armenians of his hometown in the days of his boyhood. Okay, so Armenians, this is a particular tribe. Now we will know a little bit the historical background of Armenians, the Armenian history, okay, because this story tells the story of the Armenian tribe. These two boys, these two characters, Aram and Murad, they belong to a very poor Armenian tribe, right? And this talks about their unforgettable summer adventure. So when I started with the chapter, I told you what comes in your mind when you think of summer. Of course, we all think of summer holidays and a lot of adventures that we want to encounter, a lot of exploration that we would want to do, a lot of curiosity that we have, right? So all of this is incorporated along with our summer fun, right? So the same thing happens with them. Now their adventure is with a stolen horse. Okay, so that is the title, Beautiful White Horse, but that horse was a stolen one. Okay, now set in the heart of California and San Juan family, The story weaves the innocence of childhood with the deep cultural pride of the Armenian community. This is very important. The setting is in this particular place in California, okay, Joaquin family, and the very important theme is innocence of childhood and deep cultural pride of the Armenian community. Now this pride plays a very important role in the story along with the innocence of childhood. Now before we delve into the history, the story further, a little information about the Armenian history. In the earlier 20th century, the Ottoman government was subjected the Armenian tribe to a genocide. Now, this is quite similar to what Hitler had done with the Jews. So, in this genocide, about 1.5 million Armenians were killed, and many more were dispersed throughout the world via Syria and Lebanon. In the year 1918, an independent Republic of Armenia was established in the wake of the collapse of the Russian Empire. And this republic fell under the Soviet rule in the year 1920, and Armenia became a republic with the Soviet Union after its founding. In 1991, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the modern day independent Republic of Armenia was established. So this is the history of Armenia. I thought of informing you and giving you a little bit of background of the Armenian history, because that is we are dealing with Armenian tribe. Now, talking about what happens in this story, of course, you should read the story in detail. Please go through the NCERT book thoroughly, read line by line. Okay, I am going to touch upon the very important points from the story and the theme pertaining to the story, along with the very important value-based question. Now, Aram and Murad, they are the cousins, and they belong to an Armenian tribe. This is the name of the tribe. Now this tribe is very, very important because they have a reputation to maintain, and they are particularly reputed for their honesty, and that has been maintained by the family members. But the tribe is extremely poor, as I told you about the historical backdrop, everything, right? Now these boys have a dream. Okay, now what is their dream? Their dream is to ride a horse, but they are not able to fulfill that dream. What keeps them from fulfilling their deepest desires and deepest dream? That is because of the fact that they are poor. Okay, so they can't afford a horse. Now one day, early morning, Murad shows up at Aram's home with a charming white horse. Okay, now this is that beautiful horse which is mentioned in the title. Now Aram is extremely fascinated, and at the same time he's awestruck. He could not understand from where did Murad get this beautiful horse, because they could not afford to buy a horse, right? They cannot afford, they're very poor. But he also cannot think that his cousin, remember the Armenian reputation that they had to maintain? He was a member of an honest tribe, right, which can never steal. So he's very surprised and he tries to find out the truth. But at the same time, he also wants to take a ride of that horse, right? He longs for a horse ride because that is his dream. And Murad is determined to keep it, and they try their best to keep the horse secret from others, because again their innocent desire, because they are still transitioning, they are adolescents, right? And teenagers, they are known for their dreams, they have their dreams. Okay, at this stage of life you start dreaming, right? So they have the dream of learning how to ride the horse. Now in the days to follow, both the boys take out the horse from their hiding place every morning to ride in the countryside. The only Murad can ride the horse properly. Now remember, Murad can ride the horse properly. This also suggests that this is not the first time that he is taking the horse for a ride. He had done it earlier. That means he had already stolen the horse long back. But this is the first time he is bringing it in front of Aram, right? He had mastered the horse by having a ride practice for a month before revealing the secret to Aram. Now Aram also tries very hard to master this skill. He is determined to learn to ride the horse, and he tells Murad not to return the horse until he learns how to ride. Okay. Now Murad said that it would take Aram almost a year to learn. He cannot keep the horse that long, of course, because anybody, I mean, he has to return it back to the owner, right? He cannot keep the horse that long because he would be caught otherwise. But Aram he insists that he should keep it until he learns how to ride. Now, Murad has a special quality. What is that special quality? This is an important point. A deep understanding with animals, and that is what he says. He always, in the whole chapter, you will find multiple times he has repeated, I have a way with a horse. He always has a way with everything. That is what he has repeated. So he has a way with all animals and birds. Now this is an important characteristic feature of Murad. So if character sketch of Murad comes as a question, you have to write this. He was repairing the hurt wing of a young robin and he was whispering to it. Now that shows his kindness and concern for animals and birds. Okay. And next is he's also considered a crazy fellow. From here you would get all the characteristic features of Murad. Okay. So definitely this can come as a ready answer for your character based question. He was a descendant of his crazy uncle. Okay. Now his uncle's character is also important. It can come as a short question. He had a bad temper, and what did he say? He always said one line he always used to repeat. He was of a very irritable temper. He was a big man. Okay, that is how his personality has been described. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. That is what he always used to repeat. Okay, even when his son informs that their house is on fire, that is actually a funny incident. Then also the uncle said, he was having a haircut at that point of time. He just simply said, repeating the same dialogue, it's no harm, pay no attention to it, and that is how he sent the boy away. Okay. Also, when John Byro is very, very important. He was a farmer and he was actually the real owner of the horse. Okay. Now, the horse that Murad had stolen. Now, he comes to Aram's house to recount his sad tale. Now, what was his sad tale? His beautiful white horse had been stolen. Okay. Still, the uncle says the same thing. No use of this. I mean, it's no harm, pay no attention to it. Okay. And then follows a humorous conversation. So elements of humor are also present in this particular story. Then follows a humorous conversation between the uncle and Byro, at the end of which the sad farmer storms out of frustration because nobody can converse with this uncle Khusrov because he's of an irritable temper and he has only one line to repeat, right? So their conversation you should read from the textbook. It is a very humorous conversation. So please go through the lines. One day when Murad and Aram are taking the horse to the farm at which they have been hiding it, they came face to face with the horse owner. Now accidentally they had encountered the horse owner John Byro face to face when they were taking the horse to the farm. Okay. Now he looks at the horse. When he directly encounters, of course he has a suspicion. He looks at the horse very eagerly and he studies it tooth by tooth. Each and every detail he studies. Okay. He exclaims that his white horse is identical to the horse that he owns. He doesn't say, please note, he doesn't say that this is the horse that he had. This is his horse. Okay. He never says that, although he can easily recognize that this is his horse. Finally, he says that it cannot be the same one. It can be an identical one, but it cannot be the same one. Why does he say that? Because that tribe was particularly known for its honesty, and Murad and Aram, they belonged to that particular Armenian tribe, which was reputable for its honesty. So the trust, the belief on that tribe was to such an extent that he, even after looking at the horse and recognizing that it was his horse, he still couldn't say that that particular horse actually belonged to him. So Aram notes, the guard dogs of John Byro, instead of barking at the strangers, they also follow them. So they have now come to return the horse. Okay, they also follow them silently. So it seems as if the dogs also have a trust on this particular tribe, these two boys especially, because they belong to that tribe. So Murad communicates with them, and this is particularly because of Murad, as I said, and as Murad says in the story at multiple times, that he has a way with everything, especially the animals and birds. Okay, so that is his important characteristic feature. And then the next day, John Byro visits the family home to tell them about a great miracle. What was that miracle? Yes, you guessed it right. The horse had been returned. It had been returned miraculously. Okay, and that was something which was an amazing thing. And the most amazing thing was the horse which was returned was better trained and it was well tempered. And all this happened why? Because of Murad, because he had a way with the animals. So that is the story, okay, of the beautiful white horse and that family, that tribe, the Armenian tribe, which had maintained its good name. Now, the fact that John Byro never blamed those two boys for the stealing and the theft. Why? Despite the fact that he had recognized that they had stolen their horse, it is because of their family history. Okay. Now, talking about the analysis, few pointers that you need to keep in mind, and you can use these points in your answers too. First of all, Murad, the character of Murad, he has a wild heart. He had that streak, crazy streak which he had inherited from his uncle. Although his father was, just in contrast to him, his father was a very logical person. And there is a line in the story also talking about how, tribe, I mean, how they, he is not directly, he has not got the features of his father, rather he has got the features of his uncle. Okay, so that line can also come for your explanation. And Aram has a dream of riding horse. He embodies the spirit of freedom, the joy of living one's dreams, even if briefly. So he had also fulfilled his joy of living his dream, that is riding the horse, although it was for a short while. Right? Now the white horse is a symbol of beauty and grace. Remember, I had told you, what can you imagine when you think of white horse? Of course, white horse looks beautiful. So it's the symbol of beauty and grace. And that becomes the boy's secret. It was shared only between them. Then the theme of morality and honesty, this is the most important theme which has been explored through the dilemma of the boys while they were enjoying the exhilaration of riding the horse, and at the same time they were grappling with the guilt of their theft. Okay, and the story is a testament to the bond of the family and trust. This is a very, very important, because only the uncle, he says it's no harm, and John Byro's trust in the boys' family, that particularly highlights the community's values. So these are the values that we can also instill, and only because of the values that the boys have inherited from their family, they were also under that pressure that they had to return the horse because they have a certain reputation to maintain. So they also had that values in them, and that is the reason why the return of the horse was possible. Right? So despite their mischief and adventure, because they were still in their adolescence, they were still children, okay, their intentions were pure. They only had a desire to ride a horse. Okay, they had no intention to steal the horse, sell the horse, make money. They were not greedy. They had just an ambition, a dream to ride the horse, and after fulfilling that, they had returned the horse honestly. Right? So the eventual return of the horse, a decision that weighs heavily on the boys, underscores a poignant lesson in responsibility and the importance of making things right. And that is the value which we learn from this particular chapter. So it's a gentle reminder of the simpler times of childhood, where the lines between right and wrong that gets blurred in the pursuit of happiness and adventures. This sometimes happens with all of us. When we want something badly, sometimes we forget, in our craze to do that or achieve that, we forget what is right and what is wrong, right? So that blurring of lines sometimes happen. But ultimately, we have to come back to what is virtuous, as Murad and Aram did by returning the horse to its lawful owner. And The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse is not just a story about a boy and a horse, it is a timeless exploration of youth, ethics, and the unforgettable summers that shape us. Very, very important. What is the moral of the story? It is that the compassion, it is about the compassion, okay, in the face of conflict yields room for growth and fair compromise. John Byron knows, this is very, very important, please note. John Byron knows that Murad and Aram, they have stolen the horse. He knows it very well, okay, because he sees and he examines the horse tooth to tooth. A fact which is confirmed when he comes across the boys and the horse, right? Rather than acting out of vengeance and seeking punishment for the thieves, what does he do? This line is very, very important. He says, a suspicious man, this can come for your explanation, okay? A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. In other words, there is something important about believing in goodness of the human spirit and seeing the best in others. So he believed in the goodness of these two boys because of their family tradition. Byro seems to implicitly understand that the boys must have a good reason, and only because they returned the horse, only because of that they also returned the house, because he showed trust in them, right? And this gentle approach of catching the boys in the act, okay, that results in the horse being returned the very next morning. If he had not shown that trust, we do not know what would have been the outcome, right? So he discovers, much to his delight, next day that the horse had been much stronger and even tempered. So due to this generous and forgiving spirit, Byro had actually gained something positive out of it. So it is a win-win approach from both the sides. Now, talking about the symbolism of the white horse, it is a symbol of purity, grace, and strength. Okay, it is a symbol of righteousness, it is a symbol of freedom, independence, untamed spirit, representing the wild and untamed nature of the horse itself. So wild, untamed nature of the boys, and it is symbolically manifested in the horse. Overall, the white horse symbolizes purity, power. When he takes a ride on the horse, he feels free, he feels powerful, and spiritual significance in many different contexts. Now, the themes of this chapter are very important. The first one is innocence and youth, because it talks about innocence and purity in their thoughts and actions. They have a romanticized idea of riding the horse, and that showcases the untainted perspective of youth. Okay. And then we have morality and ethics. Because of their morality, because of their ethics, they finally return the horse. Of course, they have the ethical dilemma, but the return is finally possible. Dream versus reality. What is the dream? The dream is to ride the horse. It is a manifestation of their dream. Reality is they cannot afford it. The situation is contrary to what their dream is, right? And that is the reason why they have this ethical and moral dilemma, right? And the line between what is right and what is wrong becomes blurred because of this dream versus reality. Family and community ties is the most important theme in this. So it is because of the because of the the family history of maintaining a reputation of their honesty that John Byro decides not to accuse this family of theft, despite being suspicious and despite understanding that they were the ones who had stolen his horse. Cultural identity, of course, the Armenian community, their culture and their reputation that they had to maintain. Now I have a short question for you which has been asked a lot of times, which is the distribution of various kinds of spirit. This was what I was talking about. The distribution of the various kinds of spirits of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious, vagrant. Elucidate. This line is from your textbook. Okay, this talks about the distribution of spirit in the tribe. That is, this talks about how Murad had received his crazy streak not biologically from his father, because his father was a logical man. So he had not received, his father was Zorab. Okay, so he had not received those logics in his as his character trait. Rather, uh, despite the fact that his father was a logical and practical man, he had received the temperament and disposition of his uncle, who was of a different kind of person. He was of a crazy streak, and I told you already that what kind of a person he is. So you can take this answer from this particular slide, right? If you've been asked for this explanation, because this is an important question and it can come. Next, a man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. This also talks about, these are both the same thing. This also talks about how he has inherited the crazy streak from his uncle, not from his father. So he was considered to be a natural descendant of the crazy streak which was there in the tribe. Okay, so on this you basically have to elaborate and explain. Okay, now there is another this is a continuation of the answer. Okay, so you can take the answer from here, this slide. Now the value based question, which is the most important, is we are nothing but our values. Discuss with reference to the story The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. Now here you have to talk about the values that we learn from this particular story. So what is right and what is wrong? That is the ethical dilemma that the boys have also faced. So what did the boys do initially? They had stolen the horse, they had hidden the horse. Now values, first you have to introduce the importance of values in our life. Okay, without values, without principles, we cannot be called as human beings, right? So values, how does it guide us in our life? We inherit these values from whom? From our parents, our relatives, our elders, right? It is the values which bring people together. Okay, now although they had no intention of how are these values reflected in the boys, because they had no intention of stealing the horse for money. It was only their dream to ride the horse, right? And however, when they realized that they were going against the principles of their tribe, a tribe which was known for their honesty, even in the face of adversity, they were embarrassed, they felt ashamed, and their conscience was aroused. Now, why was the arousal of the conscience happening? It is because of these values that they had inherited from their family, right? So they realized their mistake and they returned the horse to their owner. So this is something which is very, very important, and which is the most important theme and the moral of this particular lesson. So I hope that you have understood this lesson and you have learned something, the most important, the value system that we all have and that we all should have. But sadly, in the modern day world, which is, eroding. So in today's context, for today's modern day, this particular story, I feel, is very, very relevant, and we have a lot to learn from this. So if you have liked the story and the lesson and have understood the lesson, please do like the video, share the video amongst your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. We'll see you again in the next session with another chapter. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.